With smartphones and technology making life a little easier, the Snap Leash has also been designed to make life a little easier for you and your pup. Whether you're out on a stroll in the park, or possibly a walk through the city, or maybe even a hike up in the mountains, the Snap Leash is the perfect leash for you. The Snap Leash can easily and conveniently convert into 7 types of leashes, making the Snap Leash the most convenient leash in the world. What other leash do you know that has 7 leashes in one? With the Snap Leash having appearances on the Today Show in New York City, TV 47 in Dallas, Texas, and ABC 4 on Midday, Utah, you are definitely going to want to take a peek at what the Snap Leash can do for you and your best friend. So make life a little easier for you and your pup, and visit www.snapleash.com today. Alright guys, we are back. This is K-Talk Radio 1640 AM. This is the show, Utah Home Sweet Home. I'm your host, Yoshi Shiraki. Our very special guest today is Tyrone Smith, receiver of the University of Utah football team. And it's nightmare story time. So we're going to hear a story that Tyrone's going to share with us, and possibly the lesson that can be learned from what came out of, the nightmare. With every bad situation that's happened to me, I've found a way to figure out a learning lesson from it, so that it's just not a negative in my life. It's a negative and then a positive after. And I think that's the best way to handle negativity, is figure out what can be learned from it, which is why we have the nightmare story, because anytime I lost money on a flip or a deal, it's probably those are the deals that I learned the most lessons on, which then turned out to be a positive. So, Tyrone, if you don't mind diving into the nightmare story.
Yeah, so I was 6 years old, and I had a stepmother, and I was living with her, and she, I didn't know it, but she was going through some mental problems.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was, but yeah, something was really bothering her, and I kind of realized it, and I was very confused. I didn't know exactly how to handle it, and I really thought it was kind of normal, but like I said, even though I was 6 years old, I kind of knew something was a little odd.
Right.
And yeah, she started to get very aggressive, like after some time. So like each month, whatever the case was, she was just getting more aggressive, and me as a young kid, like she always put pressure on me, and always kind of wanted to get the best out of me, and she would always say, if like you're acting like a girl, she would like do something to make me, like it wasn't like a punishment, but she would always make me do something that was like more like a man job, I guess, like, or like getting a garden or whatever it was, I don't know, but
yeah.
So so one day I went to my grandmother's house, and she called my grandmother, and she had like, we had this bond, like she obviously loved me to death, but my grandmother was just like, something's not right, so I'm gonna bring you to my house. So I was staying with my grandmother for a couple of days, and she kept calling and like just was threatening my grandmother, and then eventually she just stopped calling. So she stopped calling, and it was like 2 days went by, and then we were just like, we were confused.
Yeah.
So because we know like how I don't know, like how pressuring she is. She's always like trying to figure out where I'm at. So I needed to go back home to get clothes.
Yeah.
So we ended up going back home, and I remember pulling up to the house, or we pulled up to the house, and remember hearing like this loud noise, like it was like a radio, just loud, and we didn't know exactly what was going on. So the door was unlocked, everything was open, and yeah, so I remember it was like it was really like misty. It was like a lot, like mist everywhere. You couldn't like see across the living room or anything. And yeah, my mom came with me as well.
Okay.
And she ended up walking into the room, and my stepmom ended up committing suicide.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
So she had to just put a pillow on her head and do what she did, and that kind of like, yeah, it was a shocker. Like I remember going to my room to grab some clothes and looking to the side, and I could see like my mom fall, and it was just like crazy. It was just like, it was set up, like they opened up, she made sure the door was unlocked, so you come in, and it was like, since you were gone, like this was gonna happen, this is what happened. So from a young age, like it's easy to you know, kind of blame yourself.
Sure.
Or not even that, but as well as it was just it was tough. You know, I never, like a lot of people I knew, they didn't experience that. So
Heck yeah.
it kind of made me take. Ever since I was younger, I took that serious. You know, people going through like depression and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that was like a thing. That's why like I dove into like psychology and stuff, because I always wanted to figure out like what is it about the mind that can get somebody to that place, and if I can help, like what can I do? So that's why like this journey I'm on, it's not about me. You know, it's not about Tyrone becoming the best NFL player, best college football player. It's just showing that no matter what happens in your life, like you can keep pushing. And I'm not depressed. I'm not, you know, I'm not in a bad place mentally. I've been at peace for a while, and yeah, like that was something. And like it was a crazy time. You know, it was something that was so powerful to me.
I can imagine.
So powerful to me that it sticks to me to this day. So it never burns out. You know, it's like a fuse that just continues. Like some people kind of, they have something that pushes them, and then it kind of just dies out after a while. But that just stuck with me because that's something that people deal with daily. And I mean, sometimes you can feel it creep in. Like there's times that you're dealing with something and something gets hard and you're just like, doubts roll in. But it's like, you're either gonna deal with the doubts, or you're either gonna push them out, or you're gonna let them soak in. And yeah, so I just, ever since then, like as I got older, I just dove deeper into the mind. And I'm not so big on like science when it comes down to the mind, because you know everybody's different, you know, and some people, their mind just works different. I'm all about just like self accountability, and you know, like learning myself, learning like what triggers me, what makes me, I guess, sad, and like if I'm sad, I guess, and what makes me happy and stuff like that, and just kind of eliminating those things that do, because like I said, my stepmother was happy at a time, and then eventually got to that place. So what was it that triggered her, you know? So, yeah, that was like one of my nightmare stories.
Wow, that is a nightmare, no question. And interesting that you decided to pursue psychology to understand what could lead someone to doing what they did. And yeah, definitely a nightmare story. I think now, are you more aware? Do you see people that you can now kind of go, oh, maybe that person's in a bad place, let me be a helping hand?
Yeah, it's a weird sense that I believe I have, and it's kind of cool at the same time. You can kind of see, you can tell immediately when, one thing is you can tell immediately when, like if you're talking to somebody and something bothers them, or something makes them feel bad, or somebody is dealing with something. Some people are really good at hiding it, but yeah, you can kind of tell immediately. I mean, even asking a couple questions, you can ask just anybody like about their life, and you can kind of tell like how they're living, and you know if they're actually, you know, happy in life, or if they're just living through the motions. And yeah, it's cool. I mean, I didn't I got a psychology minor and a sociology major. I wanted to dive deeper into psychology, but I didn't know if you get a minor or something, you can't get a major, so I messed up.
Got it.
But it's fine. Like I do a lot of research on my own, and just people that I can get information from and stuff. It's not like I have to really, you know, go to school for it. I've lived through it, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I've read I don't know the accuracy. You can't believe everything you read on the internet, but I had read an article. I can't remember where the article was put out, which is why I'm not going to say it's true or not true. But Utah, according to this article, has one of the highest suicide rates of youth. Have you heard that too?
I did.
Yeah, which is crazy. It's obviously, you know, not. It's a problem when you get these young kids who are finding that life is so challenging that you know, for whatever their challenge, you know, whatever the reasons their challenge are, that the best way to remedy the pain is suicide. So it's nice that you can realize somebody, you know, with what you've learned, that might be facing some challenges, and be able to reach out to these people and potentially, I guess, help give them, you know, lend a helping hand.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said, that article, or the studies, I've heard of it before. at the university, and like that's where I heard the study.
Got it. Yeah.
Study from. And yeah, it's interesting because when you compare like Utah compared to like or Salt Lake City, wherever the case is, compared to Fresno.
Yeah.
It's like Fresno's it's dangerous. It's a lot of a lot of bad things going on. A lot of gang violence, a lot of poverty in specific areas. Compared to Utah, it's a lot more nicer.
Yeah.
Things are kind of more set up. It's more family oriented. You have a lot of support from both peers.
Right.
It's different. So it kind of gets that was something that was really confusing when I came to Utah. It was like how does that work? But
yeah,
it's you can see it's not about the things you have. It's not
right.
about having everything growing up. And that's why I kind of like to use like the hard times as it's like you can kind of use it as motivation. Like when things are hard for me,
yeah,
it's usually my brightest days because I always see a better future.
Oh, good.
But when things are so good,
yeah,
it's like okay, things are good. Like things can't really get too much better.
Right.
So my future isn't as bright. So then that's when things start going in. I think that's when people get bored and they start getting depressed and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why it's it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or if you're very wealthy or whatever the case is.
Right.
Anybody could be dealing with this or dealing with that, and it's hard because some people, like I said, they're good, they're smart, they know how to hide it, and it's being able to kind of like see through it.
Got it. Well, thank you for sharing that nightmare story, Tyrone.
No problem.
We're going to take another commercial break. When we come back, we're going to talk about game day rituals. Curious to see what you do to get your mind ready for game day. Just out of curiosity, when you're playing receiver or DB, is there much trash talking right there at the line throughout the game, or not really?
Depends on who you're playing. Yeah, there's some teams that are kind of more mouthy, and there's teams that they won't say anything. So it's like sometimes you'll say something back to somebody, or you'll say something, you'll start it, and they're just quiet, and then you just kind of feel like,
right.
That was dumb.
Right.
I just prefer to shut up.
Right. Well, and if they start it with you, I should tell that when we come back. Maybe I'll tell the story how I met Tyrone. Because I saw you and Tango have a couple mouthy offensive, defensive drill practices back in the day.
For sure.
Those were fun to watch.
For sure.
Yeah. And so obviously I know that you can hold your own if somebody does get mouthy with you.
Right.
If somebody does, do you return the favor?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, that was kind of how I was brought up. You don't let anybody, pretty much. We call it trick you out your position. Like when somebody just tries to establish that dominance in front of you, you have to, make sure you hold your own. So it's something that we grew up on. It's nothing like crazy or personal, but
right,
yeah.
Right. Awesome. Okay, great. So when we come back, we're going to hear about these game day rituals and dive into that a little bit deeper. But for now, we're going to take a commercial break. So don't go anywhere. Hi, I'm Yoshi Shiraki, the author of the book, My Body's Just For Me, the book written for children to educate children on the prevention of child abuse. With the assistance of multiple best-selling author Richard Paul Evans, we were able to publish this book as a tool to help break the ice in an easy and innocent way to help children understand and learn how to speak up and communicate. I've been invited numerous times on the Good Things Utah to discuss the importance of good communication with your child in regards to abuse, and also to discuss how the book, My Body's Just For Me, is a great tool for every parent when having that tricky conversation with their children. For more information on the book, My Body's Just For Me, please visit www.protectourangels.com today. And remember, the more we focus on prevention, the less we'll have to focus on rehabilitation.